In this week's channel message from the angels, I feel like they are showing us two sides of a hand. They're saying, on one hand, yes, we are on the precipice of heading into difficult times. We've been in difficult times, but we're on the precipice of some very crunchy times. And on the other hand, we are also surrounded by these incredible energies that can lift us up and shift us in a moment. It's a beautiful message. So welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so grateful you're here. And I am recording this message early because I'm flying down tomorrow to go to Los Angeles for my one-day event in LA. So if you are going to be there, I'm excited to see you. So anyway, so I'm doing it tonight so that I can make sure I have a video for you guys tomorrow. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Ann Tucker. I am a trance channel. And that means I channel from the angelic realm, and I go into a deep meditative state. And from that state, I raise my awareness as high as I can go. I go a little higher, I connect, and then messages and healing come through. And I share it here with you guys on YouTube. Every week, I bring a new message, and often they are talking about this sort of week by week, play by play, what is happening, what stage are we in this great shift in our consciousness. So as I was saying, this week's message, it's again, a beautiful, very inspiring message. They're really trying to encourage us. They're telling us, hey, we've already made it. They see us on the other side. They know we get there. But they're trying to give us some guidance about how to make our journey more easily. They're saying, okay, we are here looking back. We see you already arriving. We're looking back at where you are now. They're trying to give us some correction, I guess you would say, give us a hint as to how we individually can move in order to make this process easier, knowing the particular state that we are in, that we're facing a lot of change and a lot of chaos in our world. So anyways, it's a great message, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Welcoming home yourselves down into the structure of what is known as we ourselves are rising into tomorrow. The next instantiation of who you are is already there among us. There is you who has risen, who has come so far, who has moved beyond what is now. There is you we can capture in our hearts, in our memories, and guide you toward this tomorrow. We see you now as you are rising into this next beginning, where all is unknown before yourselves, where the situations unfolding feel like hardship and sorrow. And we sense you are on the precipice of a great journey of belonging and union. Within this hardscape that becomes, you will evolve to an understanding that what is now transforms into the new. And beyond next safe harbor is a welcome respite from the challenges that you've known. To have come this far, to have made this impression upon the earth and its savages, means you are driven with the longing of becoming something more. It means you herald in this change, that you are ready and willing. It means that you harbor within your heart and soul a desire for life and living. It means you welcome what we have always known, that you will come into the next fragrance of yourself and welcome it as it's offered. We see you now having risen. We see you as you will be and become. And we know the pathway there is fraught with many riddles for yourselves. The unknowingness can create suffering, but it also in and of itself is part of your awakening. It is the grueling trial that exacerbates the shortcomings of humanity, the aspects of yourselves you wish to purge, the disharmonious aspects which must be revealed through these encounters with yourselves and each other. In the process, you are rising, you are becoming more. Into union and harmony you are stepping, into the sense of yourselves as offering one another the trust that is required. To find beyond separation, there is more for yourselves, more enjoyment, more fulfillment, more in and of the blessings we are offering. We wish now to divide and cultivate between your thoughts a suggestion. The suggestive power of our words can take anchor and root within tomorrow, can offer yourselves a gentle guidance, a way forward. We wish to point you now toward the fulfillment of your promise you've made to your North Star. How shall you become? How shall you be made? How shall you follow through in these coming times? We say you are pointed well. Fear not the shallow reserve of what is left, the sense that all has come and gone and you are here, and shallow still feels this earth. We say know that what you encounter is for yourself, that these times are the harbingers of great change, and you are pointed well. What you resolve upon and feel is made for you. What is happening now will cultivate within you the great instrumental rising of your soul and self. Know that all is for purpose, and you are moving toward that sense of yourself as being different. Know that all comes readily, quickly, fast in these moments now. All is happening quickly. All things are readied and made for yourselves. You may rise into the new beginning with the gesture and the word and find yourself differing from how you were a moment ago. You may find yourself evolving faster than before. It takes not the same degree of repetition and self-regulation to illuminate yourselves. It takes not the same grinding patterns of familiarity which must be carved and reborn again. It is instead possible in this moment now to retrain your way of being, to change yourselves with a breath and a notice, to make yourselves be differing from what was and how you were. It takes only a notice, a momentary reframe. Take advantage of these culminating energies that are around you. Take advantage of what moves through you, of how you may transform into a new frame of reference of what is coming. There are energies here that are lifting, rising all around you, and you may capitulate what was and find yourself afloat upon a river of escalation that bridges into the next moment beyond, and find yourselves in transformation. It can happen in a moment, in an instant. Not in all ways, for you are complex in your origination. You are more than one self. One soul occupies many dimensions and aspects as a person, and all of these must regulate their voice and find themselves uncovered and be held in the grace of this lofting. But in the times that are coming, the way has been laid. Your passage can be met with greater ease. To simply arm yourselves with awareness, with the presence of mind to be current and solid in your perception of the now, the envelope which you herald as truth, your observation of what is. To be in this, in your experience. Know you are heralding a person that you are already in the future. We observe and see. We know we will meet thee. We know you are coming. We know you are ready. We see you, an envoy to the future. The bridge is made and you are rising. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. Let's go paragraph by paragraph and we'll talk through some of the deeper meanings here. So, okay, so the first paragraph, they say, welcoming home yourselves down into the structure of what is known as we ourselves are rising into tomorrow. So, so here I think they're saying, okay, welcoming us. So they're really acknowledging this is where we are right now into the structure of what is known. And this message references, and they're referencing a lot recently about how we as humans want to stay with what is comfortable and what we understand. And that feels welcoming to us. And here there's almost kind of giving us a little grace, saying, welcome home into the structure of what is known. So this is where you are. This is where you currently feel safe. And they're saying, as we, the angels, are rising into tomorrow. So they're saying, okay, you guys are here. We know safety is important. Safety feels good. But we are looking at tomorrow. And they're saying the next instantiation of who you are is already there among us. They're saying you may feel safe and cozy where you are, but we can tell you, we have a preview, and looking at the future, we can tell you you've already made it. So this is where I think they're trying to hook us. They're saying they're trying to get us to be like, come out of our safety hiding spot. And they say, there is you who is risen, who has come so far, who has moved beyond what is now. So saying this is who they see in the future. They see us, who has risen, who has come so far, right? Who is beyond the now, what is now. There is you. And then they say, there is you we can capture in our hearts, in our memories, and guide you towards this tomorrow. So saying on one hand, they're looking forward at the future us and wow, have we done a lot? Have we come so far? Look at how we've risen into the new state of consciousness. They're saying they already see it. And they can also turn back to where we are presently and see us, right? And they can guide us, capture us with their hearts and in their memories and guide us toward this tomorrow. So they're trying to bring us toward this future version of us in this message. That's what this message is about. So they go on to say, next paragraph, they say, we see you now as you are, rising into this next beginning where all is unknown before yourselves. So again, this reference to, we really like to know what's going to happen, and often we can't. So where all is unknown, where situations unfolding feel like hardship and sorrow, and we sense you are on the precipice of a great journey of belonging and union. So they never lose, as they're talking about things being difficult, they never lose or let us forget that all of these things are leading us to something, that we're on a journey, that we're on a path, and it's taking you to a better version of ourselves and our world, right? On the precipice of a great journey of belonging and union. So this is really what our shift in consciousness is all about, is trying to get to a space where we are connected to one another. So they say within this hardscape that becomes, so they're not mincing words here. They're saying that the situations right now in front of us where it's unknown what's ahead of us, they say that it's unfolding. It feels like hardship. It feels like sorrow. Here they call it within this hardscape that becomes. So this is, we're on the edge, like things have been crazy. Like we've been in the poly crisis. Things are going to get a little harder going forward. There's some more stuff on the horizon that's a bit more difficult for the next while. And they're saying this hardscape that becomes, you will evolve to an understanding that what is now transforms into the new. And so they're saying that what is happening is all the things that are coming, the hardscape, that we will eventually evolve our understanding of that hardscape, of what's difficult. We will change how we feel about it. That as we stand on this side of it, we look at it and we go, whoa, I don't like that. I don't want that. But as we move through it, that we will evolve how we think about it. And we will come to understand that it transforms into the new, right? That it is part of the change. And they say, and beyond the next safe harbor is a welcome respite from the challenges that you've known. So this sentence carries so much information because they're saying, so beyond the next safe harbor, that is, they keep referring to the idea that we want to stay safe in what we know and where we are. Where we are is this karmic construct. Where we are is not so great. You know what I mean? Where we are is hard. And they're saying beyond this, what feels like a safe harbor is a welcome reprieve from the challenges that you've known. So we feel as we're standing forward and looking ahead, and we see the poly crisis, and we see, war, and we see mass violence, and we see tsunamis and earthquakes and fires and blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. That, as all that is happening, like all of these things that are happening, that we look at that and we feel like, oh my gosh, I want to crawl into my hidey hole. But they're saying that they see this and they want us to evolve. And they say we will evolve our understanding of all of this. And to understand that these are the signs and the symbols and the passage. These are the methods through which we will evolve, that humanity will evolve. So we will change how we feel about this. So, and they've told us in previous messages that the things that we lose in terms of our structures, in terms of the way we thought our lives were going to be, the things that we lose, they say, are things that we were meant to lose and that we won't miss. Like, we will get to a place where we realize, you know what, we didn't need that. And so I think this is why I say that it's such an important, there's so much information here. So I said, beyond the next safe harbor, beyond, where we feel like we're going to have to keep ourselves safe, is a welcome. So when we get outside of our safe harbor, it's a welcome respite from a respite from the challenges that you've known. And that is those challenges really is like our karmic world, right? The things that have made things really, really difficult. So they're telling us we go through the tough stuff to get rid of the tougher stuff, right? The tougher stuff is the war inside of ourselves, is the karma that we've placed on ourselves. And when I talk about karma, I talk about the judgments we have made against ourselves. It's self-judgment is how I define karma. Yeah. So when I say that word, that's what I mean. Okay. So next paragraph, they say, we have come this far to have made this impression, to have made this impression upon the earth and its savages means you are driven with the longing of becoming something more. And by savages here, I think they're not calling us savages. I think they mean the things that savage us. Is it the world and its savages? It's the feeling that we have. Again, they're trying to really let us know they understand that things are hard. Like they understand the things that we go through when we're here. So they're trying to say to have come this far, despite everything, despite all the obstacles in front of you, despite, your dark night of the soul, despite the challenges you've had with your family or with being accepted or with health or with, with the different crises that we've all had in our lives, right? That those are the savages. And to say that you made it through, that means like to have come this far past all of that means that you are driven with the longing of becoming something more, right? It means that you herald this change. You're saying the fact that you are here, the fact that you have made it through all of that just proves the point that you are ready and willing. They say it means that you harbor within your heart and soul a desire for life and living. It means you welcome what we have always known, that you will come into the next fragrance of yourself and welcome it as it's offered. So in other words, you're saying that it means that you are ready. Like the fact that you have made it through, that you're here, that you're listening to this stuff, that you're on this path, that you have found your way to spirit, despite all of the challenges of this world. It means that when this comes towards you, that you'll be ready to accept it. Yeah, which is phenomenal. All right, they come forward, meaning when I say this, they mean this next shift in consciousness. When this new way of being comes towards you, you'll be ready to accept it, which is this future you that they already see. So they can say, you're already there. Don't even worry about it. You're going to make it. So they go on to say, okay, we see you now having risen. We see you as you will be and become. And we know the pathway there is fraught with many riddles for yourselves. The unknowingness can create suffering. So, and I like how they phrase this. It's fraught with many riddles. And I think it's cool because it's not just saying like there's a lot of problems. It's not just saying that there's a lot of difficult things that happen. They're calling them riddles because it really emphasizes how we approach our lives. We come into things and we get up in our head and we start trying to process and solve and overthink. And we go into this little spiral of like, how do I get myself out of these problems? How do I think my way around this? And we get very much in our head. And they say, so it's riddling. We're riddling our way through our karma rather than just getting into our heart and healing. Like so human. And they go on to say the unknowingness can create suffering. So that's where we get anxiety, is because we're fearful about what's going to come. We're fearful. It's almost like the not knowing becomes harder in some ways because we get into this riddling where we're in our head so much trying to think it through and anticipate. And imagine if you're trying to anticipate for what you don't know, you're trying to anticipate for every possible eventuality. And that feels like suffering. If you actually knew, you would know what to do because you'd be like, oh, okay, it's this. I can figure out how to deal with that. But yeah, it's the unknowing puts us in this tailspin of not knowing what to do. So we just try to do everything. Yeah, or nothing. All right, they go on to say, but it also in and of itself is part of your awakening. So this challenge that we're going through, this stuff that we're going through is part of this process. They say it is the grueling trial that exacerbates the shortcomings of humanity, the aspects of yourselves you wish to purge. So in other words, it makes the parts that are the things that we really need to let go of, it makes them come to the surface. And so you can see that it's like people who are angry get angrier. Right? People who are sad feel sadder. Like people who feel lonelier. It's bringing it to the surface so we have to deal with it, right? And in this process, we're meant to come together. We're meant to help each other. We're meant to interact with each other and work through it, right? The disharmonious aspects which must be revealed through these encounters with yourselves and with each other, right? In this process, you are rising. You are becoming more. So, and I think the part about with each other is really important because I will tell you that it's like in places in my life, like I think I told you guys before, when I after my divorce, I stopped dating for like 4 years. And during that process, I stopped having healing dreams altogether. Like I thought I did for a while and then they stopped. And I was like, oh, I'm done. Like, yay, I'm baked, I'm finished. And then as soon as I started dating again, it was like, boom. Here's some more dreams about healing. Like, here's all the things you haven't dealt with yet because you haven't been dating. So it was like I had wounds specifically around relationships that I had to heal, but I couldn't heal them until I was dating again. And I went through a whole process, and that's like a whole nother story, which we can talk about some other time, but a whole process of being willing, being open to encounter and see myself in all these encounters, all the different people I dated, and finally got to a place where now I'm in a relationship now, a very happy one. And I couldn't have gotten there if it hadn't been for that process of of healing through the experience by going through it. Like I couldn't do it on my own. I had to go into the encounter with someone else. We have to go through. I couldn't avoid it. I couldn't just work on myself by myself because there was nothing to bump up against. So I had to wait until I was actually engaged in the process. And then, right. So it's encounters with yourself and each other. And I think that is so important to see that we have to engage in life in order to face ourselves. Yeah. Into union and harmony, you are stepping into the sense of yourselves as offering one another the trust that is required. So important. The trust part is so important. Like that is a huge part of what we need for unity to happen. And it's so not present right now. We have to work through things to get to a place. Imagine what the world would look like if everyone trusted one another, right? How crazy different that would be. And we have to get there because we can't have unity without trust, because we have to be willing to show ourselves, right? We have to show our soft, squishy underside, and that requires trust. So to find beyond separation, there is more for yourselves, more enjoyment, more fulfillment, more in and of the blessings that we are offering. So in other words, once we are willing to trust, once we're willing to move to unity, then we move beyond that. Where we are right now is in separation. They say we leave, but what feels like safety, they keep referring back to that, our safe, hidey little hole. And once we move past that, we find more enjoyment, more fulfillment, more blessings, right? So they're trying to encourage us to move toward this new state of being, which they say we have already achieved. So they go, in the future. They go on to say, we wish now to divide and cultivate between your thoughts a suggestion. The suggestive power of our words can take anchor and root within tomorrow. So they're trying to plant a thought, and then knowing that this thought will then help to create itself in our world. So which is kind of cool. They go on to say, can offer yourselves a gentle guidance, a way forward. So how can we move forward more easily, more gently? We wish to point you now toward the fulfillment of of your promise you've made to your North Star. How shall you become? How shall you be made? How shall you follow through in these coming times? So the promise we made to our North Star is our promise to shift and to evolve. So the North Star is like, what is our main goal for humanity? Like, what is it we're trying to achieve for ourselves and for humanity? The North Star, like we're meant to evolve, to shift, to grow into this new state of being. And so they're saying, how is it that we're going to do this? How are we going to become? How will we be made? Like, how are we supposed to do this? And they go on to say, we say you are pointed well. So in other words, you're on the right track. Like what's happening right now is meant to happen. We say you are pointed well, pointed in the right direction. Fear not the shallow reserve of what is left, the sense that all has come and gone and you are here. And shallow still feels this earth. So this is an intense little sentence here, because they say that fear not the shallow reserve of what is left. And then they say, so there's two ways they're using shallow here, because that's what they like to do. So the first one is saying that, okay, assume that there's massive changes in the world, and it feels like maybe there's it, and they said before that shipping would be catastrophic. So goods are not moving back and forth as easily in the future. So if that happens, imagine that you're trying to get gas and gas is being rationed and there's just not as much available. Maybe there's going to be gas. It just means there won't be as much gas, right? Or you go to the store. It doesn't mean that there's nothing left. There's just not as much at the store, right? You're no longer getting like kiwis imported, you're getting the local stuff that's grown locally. So they're saying, fear not the shallow reserve of what is left. So it will feel like there is less. They say, then sense that all the sense of the feeling we might have is that all has come and gone and you are here. Like you're like, wait a minute, what about me? And they say, and shallow still fills this earth. So there, in other words, it still feels shallow in terms of the people, right? That the people still feel like we haven't made this evolution to spirit yet. So number one, they're saying that you're pointed well, but fear not that we're going to go through a period where it's going to feel like there's not as much available in terms of the resources around us. And we're going to be like, okay, I'm in this weird period where nothing's available and the people around me haven't shifted. Everybody's still shallow. So this is kind of cool how they use that in two different ways. And shallow still feels this earth. We say, know that what you encounter is for yourself, that these times are the harbingers of great change. And a harbinger is something that like foreshadows future events, that these times that are of the sort of the chaos are showing us the future of great change. They say, and you are pointed well, that what you resolve upon and feel is made for you. So in other words, the things that we see and the things that we observe in our reality and the things that we feel were made for us as part of our pathway through this. They say what is happening now will cultivate within you the great instrumental rising of your soul and self. So know that all is for purpose, and you are moving toward that sense of yourself as being different, so that we will get to a place where we feel that we've changed. Yeah. They go on to say, know that all comes, this is an interesting paragraph here. So they shift here, and now they're talking about the fact that the energies around us have changed and that things are moving a lot faster in our reality. So they say, know that all comes readily, quickly, fast in these moments now. All is happening quickly. All things are readied and made for yourselves. You may rise into the new beginning with the gesture and the word and find yourself differing from how you were a moment ago. So they're trying to say that right now, yes, there's chaos in our world. And some of that chaos is created because of these massive energies of transformation that are hitting the planet. But they're saying those massive energies of transformation are an opportunity for you and for me, right? That we can use those. So they're saying, yep, you are being surrounded by chaos. There's chaos around you. It's, there might be crunchy times ahead, but what that means is that you're surrounded by transformational energy, and you can jump into that energy. So they're saying, and when you do, they said, beginning with a gesture, a word, and find yourself differing from how you were a moment ago. So fast, rapid transformation is what could be available. They say, you may find yourself evolving faster than before. It takes not the same degree of repetition and self-regulation to illuminate yourselves. In other words, we don't have to do it over and over and over again. Like we always talk about those patterns that people just live in, over and over and over again. It's not necessary with these energies. They're saying it takes not the same grinding patterns of familiarity, which must be carved and reborn again. Boy, does that spell karma right there. They say it beautifully, right? Grinding patterns of familiarity, which must be carved and reborn again. Oof. Yeah, it is instead possible in this moment now to retrain your way of being, to change yourself with a breath and a notice. So this is how, breath and notice. That breath of life, right? It means we have to bring our life essence to it, right? We have to express our soul's essence into the world. That's our breath, right? And a notice. So that is our awareness. That's living in the present moment. It means being present and expressing yourself, living in and experiencing, engaging in life and being present to life. That's what they're talking about. This is what we need to be doing. To change yourselves with a breath and a notice, to make yourselves be differing from what was and how you were. It takes only a notice, a momentary reframe. Super cool. Take advantage of these culminating energies that are around you. Take advantage of what moves through you, of how you may transform into a new frame of reference of what is coming. There are energies here that are lifting, rising all around you. So they're saying that these energies are here. And it's literally by going through this process, it's almost like there's a wave that goes by and you can catch it. If you are living in the now and expressing yourself into the world, then you can catch a wave, and it can all of a sudden, you can have this dramatic shift in who you are, right? You can have this all of a sudden, this rising up, but it takes this presence. It takes the awareness, because if not, if you're spinning in your head, living in the past, you're not ready to get the guidance. You're not ready to feel what's different. We have to be present to it and aware of it in order to let it in. Yeah. So then they say, and you may capitulate what was. Capitulate is like throw over, capitulate what was, and find yourself afloat upon a river of escalation that bridges into the next beyond moment, and find yourself in transformation. It can happen in a moment, in an instant. How cool is that, right? I mean, like amazing. And I mean, it feels like that we have been in this to a degree, but it feels like what they're saying here is that there's much more of this. And this makes me definitely think about the flash of light that they said is coming, this energy that's supposed to be coming from the sun, that's meant to move through all of us. Because they say here, take advantage of what moves through you. So this energy that's going to come and move through us, which is a giant wave of upliftment. But we have to be present and expressing ourselves into the world, present and engaging in life. We can't retire. We can't give up. We have to be engaged. Super important. And yeah, it can happen in a moment, in an instant. Super, super cool. Not in all ways, they say, for you are complex in your origination. You are more than one self. One soul occupies many dimensions and aspects as a person, and all of these must regulate their voice and find themselves uncovered. and be held in the grace of this lofting. But in these times that are coming, the way has been laid. Your passage can be met with greater ease. So they're saying here that like it's like that layers of an onion thing, that there are many aspects to us. So in any one of these breezes that we catch, that it doesn't mean that we are gonna be done at the end of it, but it means it gives us a massive boost. But they're saying, hey, there's lots to you. And they can't change all of us at once. We couldn't handle it. We don't have that much energy in us to manage all, like a complete redo in one step. Plus, we would miss all the learning on the way. But they're saying we can avoid a lot of the things that, that would have taken some really, really hard learning can be done very easily during this process. Yeah. With greater ease. To simply arm yourself with awareness, with the presence of mind to be current and solid in your perception of the now, the envelope which you herald as truth, your observation of what is. So this is the now. The now is like an envelope. It's like a thing that holds us, right? The now is the current environment we were in, which we call true, right? It's the now. This is true, right? To be in this, in your experience, right? To experience it vividly. Know you are heralding a person that you are already in the future, that we observe and see. So this is what when we're doing this is what we're doing. We're speaking to the future where they already see us. We've already made it. We know we will meet thee. We know you are coming. We know you are ready. We see you, an envoy to the future. And this is a fun word, because an envoy is an agent of humanity, right? We are acting on behalf of humanity. We are the way showers. They've said this before. By moving toward this energy, we are the way showers for an agent of humanity, representing humanity and this great shift in consciousness that we're making. But the double fun word here is and I looked it up in the dictionary. I'm not a Bible scholar, but in the Bible, they call angels agents of God, they call angels envoys because they are the agents of God. So I thought that was a fun little joke they were playing with us. So they're calling us the envoys. So anyways, they go on to say, where is it? Yeah, the bridge is made and you are rising. So that is it. So they're saying, yeah, that we're already there, you guys. So we can all just go hang out and put our feet up. Actually, totally the opposite. They're saying, live in the now and engage, right? Engage. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, sending you tons of love, and I will see you next Friday live.